Some places are never meant to be disturbed. Ravenwood Manor, an abandoned estate, stands as a grim reminder of the past, with its walls soaked in dark secrets. Those who dared to enter have left the mansion changed, if they returned at all. What truly happened inside those crumbling walls? Why does the manor still call to those seeking answers, drawing them to its cursed doors? This is the story of Ravenwood Manor, a place where the unknown is never fully understood. Ravenwood Manor was built in the early 1800s, a grand estate standing proudly in the remote hills. Once home to the Blackwood family, it exuded wealth, power, and aristocratic charm. The sprawling estate, surrounded by ancient oak trees, was said to be as beautiful as it was mysterious. Yet, by 1903, the entire Blackwood family vanished without a trace, servants, guests, and family members alike. No one knew where they had gone, and despite numerous investigations, no clear explanation emerged. The mansion was left abandoned, becoming a place of fear and speculation. Rumors began to spread, whispering of a curse that had befallen the Blackwood family. Some claimed that the manor itself was alive, its walls soaked with dark energy. Others believed it had become a portal to another realm, one that consumed all who entered. Whatever the truth, Ravenwood Manor was now regarded as a forbidden place. Locals avoided it, and its eerie silhouette haunted the dreams of those who dared to venture too close. In 1952, a group of paranormal investigators set out to uncover the truth behind the mysterious events surrounding the manor. Armed with equipment, cameras, audio recorders, and temperature gauges, they entered the mansion, determined to document any supernatural phenomena. The group, led by renowned paranormal researcher Edward Sinclair, spent hours setting up their equipment in the darkened halls of the manor. They had hoped to capture evidence of ghostly activity, but what they found was far more terrifying than they could have ever imagined. Only one member of the group returned. James Whitmore, a seasoned investigator, was found wandering in the woods several days later, disheveled and covered in scratches. His once dark hair had turned completely white, and his eyes were filled with terror. When questioned about what had happened inside Ravenwood, James remained silent. For years, he would not speak of the horrors he had witnessed. However, before his death in 1981, James left behind a chilling note for his colleagues.
The house is alive. It watches. It waits. And it chooses who stays.
The rest of the investigation team was never heard from again, and the manor continued to loom in the shadows, an enigma that no one dared to solve. Despite the fear surrounding Ravenwood Manor, the legend of its haunting continued to draw thrill-seekers, adventurers, and those hoping to prove the existence of ghosts. Over the years, many reported unsettling experiences within the manor. Some spoke of hearing whispers in the dark, voices that seemed to call their names from empty rooms. Others saw fleeting shadows, figures that flickered at the edges of their vision and disappeared before they could fully focus. In 1974, a skeptic named David Langley decided to test the claims surrounding Ravenwood. He spent a night inside the manor, equipped with a tape recorder placed in the grand dining hall. He had hoped to capture the faintest sound of paranormal activity, but what he discovered the next morning was far more disturbing. The tape recorder had been destroyed, but the cassette still survived. When played, the tape contained only one message, a woman's voice repeating the same words over and over.
"You are not welcome."
David left Ravenwood immediately, terrified and shaken by what he had heard. He never spoke of his experience again, but his story would only add fuel to the growing legend of Ravenwood Manor. In 1989, a group of urban explorers ventured into Ravenwood Manor, eager to uncover its hidden secrets. They made their way through the decaying halls, their flashlights flickering as they explored the mansion. The air was thick with dust and an unsettling silence that pressed on their minds. It was in the private quarters of the Blackwood family where they made a horrifying discovery. In the center of the master bedroom, there was a large, dark stain on the floor, seeping through the wooden boards. The smell of iron was thick in the air, a metallic scent that made the explorers' stomachs turn. Upon further inspection, it was confirmed to be human blood, though no bodies were found. The origin of the blood was a mystery, but one thing was certain: the stain had not been there for long. The explorers, already unnerved by the discovery, turned to leave but were stopped by the presence of a figure standing in the corner of the room. A tall, thin shadow with glowing eyes watched them as they backed away in terror. They fled the manor, vowing never to return. Ravenwood Manor had a way of fighting back against those who dared to explore its haunted halls. In 1997, a group of college students decided to spend the night in the manor as part of a dare. They carried flashlights and cameras, confident they could handle whatever the house threw at them. But as the night wore on, the manor began to show its true power. Doors slammed shut, trapping the students inside. The air grew colder, and their flashlights began to flicker. At times, their surroundings seemed to distort, and strange noises echoed through the halls. Then came the footsteps, loud, echoing, and growing closer. But when they turned to look, no one was there. The students were terrified, and as the night wore on, panic set in. By the time morning arrived, the authorities found only one of the students, curled up in the fetal position on the grand staircase. His eyes were wide with terror, but he couldn't speak. The others? They were gone. Never seen again. The manor had taken them. Today, Ravenwood Manor remains as it was, untouched, decaying, and forgotten by time. But strange occurrences continue to plague those who attempt to interact with the estate. Construction crews sent to demolish the building report strange malfunctions, tools disappearing, and workers falling ill without explanation. The land seems to reject any attempt to alter its state, as though it is bound by some invisible force. Some claim that the spirits of the Blackwood family still walk the halls, trapped in the house for all eternity. Others whisper that the manor itself is alive, feeding on the souls of those who dare enter. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: Ravenwood Manor holds a power that cannot be explained, and those who step inside may never leave. Over the years, many theories have been proposed to explain the mysterious happenings within Ravenwood Manor. Some believe the Blackwood family was involved in dark rituals, summoning something that they could not control. Others speculate that the manor is a portal to another realm, a place where the boundary between the living and the dead is thin. A more chilling theory suggests that Ravenwood Manor was not built, it was summoned. That it has always existed, a dark presence waiting for new victims to claim. Could this be the truth? Is the manor a manifestation of pure evil, or is there something more to the story than anyone could imagine? The theories continue to pile up, each one more terrifying than the last, but none can provide a definitive answer. For now, Ravenwood remains a mystery, its secrets buried deep within its decaying walls. In a surprising twist, a historian named Eleanor Whitmore, the granddaughter of James Whitmore, has recently uncovered new information about Ravenwood Manor. Eleanor discovered an old journal hidden in the walls of the manor, detailing the final days of the Blackwood family. The journal was filled with desperate prayers, warnings scrawled in frantic handwriting, and a final entry that read,
If you are reading this, it's already too late.
Eleanor intended to publish her findings, but before she could, she mysteriously disappeared. Her apartment was found in disarray, and the journal was nowhere to be found. The last message she left for a friend was a text that simply read,
The whispers, they found me.
Ravenwood Manor continues to haunt the minds of those who hear its story. Is it truly cursed? Is there something in the manor that claims the souls of those who enter? The mystery remains unsolved, and it seems that no one will ever fully understand what happened to the Blackwood family, or what is lurking within the walls of Ravenwood Manor. Perhaps one day, someone will uncover the truth. Until then, we can only wonder.